The best. John's funny. The best podcast in the world. The Cowboys Collective, ladies and gentlemen, episode number 69. Got a 69, guys?
Oh,
we got
yeah.
69.
We got every
right.
number. We got every number. Hold on.
all right. I'm already in the.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
Who's
Henry
that?
Melton, really? 2014 Henry Melton?
Oh, I think he was. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
He got hurt, didn't he, pretty quickly? That's when, Rod brought him over from Chicago, all that stuff.
Brandon Knight?
Yeah.
Brandon Knight. Okay, that's a good one. He was terrible for you, but that's a good one. That 2020.
Remember the name?
It's pretty, that might be the weakest of all the numbers, to be honest with you. There's not many guys.
John got the old school. John, can you show the fans what you're looking at with the numbers?
This is the media guide just from this year.
Okay,
they give them out at the beginning of the year, and then it's got like every player's
Hayden was number 69.
Number. Okay, so 74, Bob Lilly. There you go. There's a number that only one person's wore. So there you go. That's the least.
What's happening, Chad? What's happening, though, fellas? How we doing?
I'm good. I was gonna ask, is Bob Lilly in the? I should know this. Is he in the Ring of Honor?
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yep.
I would be shocked if he wasn't the first person.
Come for that one. Hey, I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm straight, man. How y'all doing tonight, man?
Hey, I like looking at these Chargers throwback unis here. It's weird seeing Herbert in it, but I like those unis.
You think it's gonna be LaDainian Tomlinson coming out the backfield?
They sure need him.
I know. They got Kamani Vidal. I'm like, wow, how did this happen? Hey, you know what? Toxic Skye's hoodie is fire. I noticed that.
This is my favorite hoodie, bro.
Bro, that joint is.
My wife
it's not white, is it, Skye?
It's like egg white. It's off white.
Okay, off white, John.
Beige, if you will.
Yeah, fire. Stitch Cowboys. Anyway, guys, we are here on a Thursday, as always, getting ready for the next week's game. But we got a fun show for you all. We're going to talk some possible free agent targets. John had a great article about that. Just our thoughts on these guys. I'm going to rattle them out. We're debuting a new segment called Sky's Eyes. And I'm just telling you.
It's a new segment already every week now. Damn.
It's a new it's a new segment, and we're going to keep this. So we were doing Skye with the film, but then now, it's going to be Sky's Eyes, and he's going to take us through some plays, and it's going to be really, really dope. Some little nuances that he's found with the opposing team, and this is a really big game, and I love it. But as always, we start with John Machota. What's going on, boots on the ground, John? I know it's been a lot of player may play, may not. There's been, I'm hearing Cooper Beebe may play. So what's going on, John? Like, who's playing in this game? Who's on their way back? No, we talked about it a little bit, but like now we're getting closer. What's going on? Boots on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start with Overshown. You shot me that text yesterday about how he looked. And really, when you text me, I was thinking about how I really can't say he's looked bad at all, really even going back to training camp. And then to hear him talk yesterday about how he's really felt good for several months now, but it's you got to get the imaging back. You got to do the MRIs and make sure. And he says that the knee is now, like, it looks perfect. And so now it's beyond the mental and everything like that. It's, hey, now you got to be able to hit and be in football shape and all that. Now he is wearing a brace on his right knee. And so I don't know if that'll impact him or not. I guess we'll see. But Monday night, week 11 in Las Vegas, that's the target date. That's when he expects to be back. That's when the coaches expect him to be back. And that makes sense. It's right after their bye week. And so that gives him one game before they go into that gauntlet of, Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. So, I haven't seen anything out there that would make me think otherwise. I expect him that game against the Raiders, Monday Night Football, I expect Overshown to be back for that one. I don't know about Cooper Beebe being back before. He was working. He's been back at practice. He got back this week, just like Overshown. They opened the 21-day window. So he was working as with the number 2s center. And so I still think I think that lines up for them to try and bring him back then too. Revel is the one I don't really know about. I just haven't seen enough from him to know when he'll be able to return. So those three they've opened the windows on them. So that would probably be the most notable stuff recently. And then today on the injury report, and I shouldn't laugh because we don't know the extent of it, but Tyler Guyton showed up with a glute injury that made him limited. And so that's the only new one.
You hurt your ass.
Yeah, I know. I don't know, man.
Fell too hard.
Actually, you know what? I buried that whole lead there. The number one thing is that Trayvon Diggs is still in concussion protocol.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So have you seen him?
He was in the Star yesterday. He was at
Somebody said they saw a knot on his head. Is that true?
I didn't see that.
Okay. Did he really get whooped at the crib? Like this is crazy how
crazy
this is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly think something happened because there's no way.
Now I'm starting to think something.
Yeah, like for sure. And like I wouldn't even wish that on him. Like that's actually just crazy.
So I won't even take any other player and use him as an example. I'm just going to use Trayvon Diggs as an example because I've watched this go down. You guys don't know how many times this dude has been asked when he's talked about that $500,000 he got docked back, for not working out the facility enough to where, like, I know he's annoyed by that. If he comes with some like real generic, boring answer, it's never going to be the end of it. He's going to be asked every time. Like he could make like a game-winning interception or something. And in the post game, he's going to be asked, so about that concussion thing, what really happened there? You know what I'm saying? So maybe he's going to get his story straight or something, but like, it's going to be asked about a lot. Like it won't be just going away. So, but I just find it interesting that he's still in the concussion protocol because I'm telling you, after the game, the way Jerry Jones was talking about it, he made it sound like he wasn't that concerned at all. Like it wasn't like the type of concussion that, you get in the game, you go to the blue tent, you have like an NFL official that's part of it. There's no, as much as people think that it's just, Brian Daboll walking in there and saying, dart, scataboo, doesn't matter, you're in. There is an NFL official that's there. And so that is interesting that he is still, and I say it's interesting because of the fact that I can't think of anybody else that I know of that's been in the protocol on a Thursday and has played in that game. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Usually you're cleared, you're at least cleared on by Tuesday, which is the player off day. And then on like Wednesday, Thursday, those are the two most important practice days. So I would think that he's probably not playing. I think that's probably safe to say. So out of the injury standpoint, I feel like that's all the guys I said before, the BBs, the Overshones, Revel, those guys have been limited both days. So basically that's individual drills. Overshown said he's hoped that he could work into more team stuff, but regardless, Overshown's not coming back before that after the bye. So that's the target there.
Can we sit on this Overshown coming back thing? Because I kind of was playing on words here. I'm cautiously optimistic with the young buck Revel, right? Because he's never played in the league yet. He had a setback in camp. Like there's real reasons to kind of hold tight here. With Overshown, there's something about this kid, man. He just has this aura about him, this thing about him that I just feel like he always can see. He'll see things through. He'll overcome whatever. Back-to-back knee injuries, though. When I think about the realism of it, that's tough. And so I've been optimistic but cautious, right? Because I'm optimistic so I flipped it because I'm optimistic that he can, eventually get back. It's just a matter of when. But I'm also cautious about it because, dude, this is back-to-back knee injuries. We're talking about ACL, PCL, LCL injuries here, right? And then he start talking, and I'm like, throw all that shit out the window. Overshown's coming back week one, the first week he's making a play, pick six, interception. He just has that aura about him that I'm like, man, screw it. He gonna be cool immediately. And all jokes aside, though, he does give that energy off that I don't think it'll take as long for Overshown as it made for the Butlers and the Diggses of the world. Blands, you could throw him in there, and Revel and whatnot. But man, you hear him talk. This dude, if he can stay healthy, that's your guy. That's your guy in defense for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, the only thing with him that makes me a little nervous is that he's not coming back on like the 21, 22, 23 teams where it's like now you're another piece. He's kind of coming back, and let's be honest, Jerry contributes to this, like where it's like he's got the cape on and he's going to have to like save the day. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure he's fine with that. He seems absolutely built for it. I would have retired from football after one ACL injury, let alone an ACL, MCL, PCL. But he's obviously wired for it. But I'm just saying from the optics of it, like, you know, he's going to be there. It's going to be Monday night in Las Vegas, and people are going to expect, you know, interception return for a touchdown, sack, you know, all that stuff. And hey, maybe he does, you know. He does seem to have that it factor, but it's just like the defense has been so bad. I just think people need to be a little cautious about thinking that he's just going to come in there and save the day, you know?
I think with him, I saw an interview that Bijan Robinson did, and it was just like, you know, Bijan said, man, that's the toughest dude that I went against in college. He was like basically his own teammate. In practice, he could track me down. He would make tackles on me. He pushed me. And it goes to what Skye's saying. I think that the power of the tongue is real. I think that there is, like when you speak, he speaks life into his situation. Because a lot of people would have tapped out or wouldn't have given it that same effort. And rehabbing is tough. Like, it's lonely. A lot of people have talked about it. And I'm kind of leaning towards Skye's mindset in the sense of like, if he's out there, he's going to be flying around. Now, how long he'll be out there, John, I don't know. I mean, like, knock on wood, but it is 2 years, 2 injuries. It's tough. But when he's out there, I don't expect nothing. Because I texted you that just to say, like, all right, John, you're watching Indies. He has the brace on, which, by the way, he talked about it on Twitter and said, I don't need this. It's just on. But I asked you, how's he moving? And you said, oh, looks good. If he's out there, bro, he has that type of mindset. There's no ramp up with him, I don't think.
Well, to your point of he's not entering the other defenses, one thing that made me say, chill out, Skye, is I was like, well, he came out the gate strong against Cleveland, but he was also a part of some badass defense. Not a badass in a good way. Terrible defensive performances last year. And he wasn't always removed from that. Especially if you go look at the Saints in the Ravens game. You know, it was some moments there a good bit where you were like, but we were like, hey, he just tore his ACL. He's essentially a rookie, whatever, right? In Detroit games and Philly, like other games. Was he there for Philly? He actually had a good game, but they eventually ran it up. But there were games where the defense was bad and he was there. So if he couldn't save that defense, this defense is worse. So that's why I'm not trying to just rely solely on him. I would try to add pieces to bringing an Overshown back because he's going to play well enough, but I don't know if he's enough to overcome this entire defense.
Aside from a move from like a Simmons or a Crosby type thing like that, the way I feel, and I'm not saying the team feels this way. I'm not saying you guys should feel this way, fans, whatever. I'm just saying from my perspective of watching this team and covering this team, I don't think that it's going to be a good defense by the end of the season. So give me guys that can make boomer bust plays here or there to get the ball back to the offense. And he does that. That's where it's like Maris Leofau. Does he play a perfect game? No. Are there things that he does where you're just like, well, I know, I wish whatever. Yeah. But he provides some things where you're like, well, at least give me guys that are doing that right now, because at least I can steal some possessions. And that's what you need when you have, you know, arguably maybe the best offense in the league. You know, when you have that, then that changes things for me. I just don't see them going against really good teams and just playing good, solid defense for 4 quarters and holding teams to like 20 points. I don't see it happen. I see a defense that's going to have to steal some possessions here and there, make some big plays, sacks, things like that. And I think he brings that. But yeah, I don't think you put him back in the defense and you're like, oh, this is the 32nd defense and now it's 15th. I don't think that.
No, I think collectively Cowboys Nation is looking to go from 31, 32 to 25. Like that can give you a fighting chance. And then you get to the postseason, right? And you hope to flip the switch like the Indianapolis Colts did in their first Super Bowl run. People forget, awful defense. I mean, awful. One of the worst rushing defenses that year. They get to the damn postseason and all of a sudden just turned it on. Peyton Manning was not good in that postseason run, by the way. It was that defense. But again, we're talking about outliers, right? We're not talking about, you know, what most defenses have done over the last 10, 15 years. You've had a pretty good or solid defense at worst, not a terrible defense.
You know,
to win the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you win Doug Peterson, Nick Foles, you know.
That defense was great, but in the Super Bowl wasn't. But that defense was actually they made the play in the Super Bowl, if you remember.
No, I know it was. I'm just saying that, but that still like is not a team you think would win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And you know what? You wrote an article, John, about possible help on the way. The funniest thing is me and Skye were talking about this off the record, and we love John Machota because John is very much so not gonna put out anything until it's set in stone. But then you hear like certain folks, it's Dallas hasn't talked to anybody, and then you hear certain folks where Jeremy Fowler goes on ESPN. Oh, they've called everybody.
Yeah.
that was just so funny. You see, so I think for me, John, you wrote a good article about a few possible free agents that could come in and help. And before we get to the Broncos game, I just kind of want to run through this list and ask you guys, like, who would be realistic for you guys? Who do you think? And maybe you can run through it, John. Each free agent of who you thought would be a realistic, who we think would be realistic, who you want. Because I know who I want on your list, even more so than Max Crosby. I got a name that I want on your list. But why don't you tell us your list, John, and then maybe me and Skye, and we can all talk about it.
Yeah. No, Max Crosby by far is one for me. It's like, it's not even close. Like, I'm to the point where like I would give up 2 1s for Max Crosby. I know that fans don't want to do that. I'm very confident the Cowboys won't do that, but I'm saying for me personally. So he's number 1 for me on that list, because the last guy I mentioned, my 6th guy, was Jermaine Johnson from the Jets, guy, former first-round pick, who, if there isn't the Aaron White Cotton connection, I probably don't even mention that in there. But he had a Pro Bowl season in 23 under Aaron White Cotton, and so there's that. But there is a part of me too with Jermaine Johnson where I'm just kind of like, they might feel like they already got guys that are pretty similar to that. You don't have to really give up much to get him. So that's why he's like the last guy in there for me. But the 5 guys, the main 5 that I'm talking about, are guys that's like, well, if you're going to make a move to help your team, it's one of these 5 guys helps you the most. You go through lists of just different teams and who could be potentially available and stuff like that. Like, man, who's the corner from the Jets? Michael, no, is it Carter? The second, what's the kid's name that he's? What's that?
I don't think Sauce will be available. I know you're not saying
no, not Sauce. It's not Sauce. There's another
DJ
guy.
Moore is in.
I think it's Michael Carter. I could be wrong on this.
I'll look at the Jets roster.
But he's like a guy that's mentioned a lot in articles about if the Jets are gonna cut ties.
Yeah,
I think it's him. Anyway, regardless, I was like, I don't know that that's really helps you with what you already have. So
apparently, Quinnen Williams is available.
Well, then if I felt like he was for sure available, then he would be the guy. I just have my doubts about that because
I want his brother.
It sounds like Jerry had some interest in Quinnen Williams, and they weren't interested. So that's the only reason why I didn't really consider him. But Jeffrey Simmons is a guy that you look at Tennessee.
Ding, for me.
You look at Tennessee, you're just like, what are they doing? How does he line up with their window of success? Wouldn't it make sense to get as much as you can for him right now? Which is kind of the same way I feel about Max Crosby. And so that's why those guys, and then obviously Trey Hendrickson, because he's not signed beyond this year. You might not have to give up as much for him as some of these other guys. And then he could potentially be a guy that you keep beyond this year as well. And so depending on what you give up for him, obviously. So those 3 at the top are definitely the ones that I think of the most. And then the other ones I had on there, it's a good question. No, I can't remember.
I think you had a linebacker. You had Demario Davis.
Oh yeah, Demario Davis. And the only reason I went with him is because of the fact that older guy, but I don't know that he's signed beyond this year either. And then he doesn't really how does he fit with the Saints window either? So I was trying to go off guys that I could actually see a team being
it was a great article.
I'm not going to try and sit there and say like, well, yeah, just go get we'll just use this week as an example.
Right.
Well, hey, before you leave, just grab Patrick Surtain on Sunday. Why would they do that? It makes no
Somebody
sense.
mentioned Jarrett Verse to me, and Will Anderson. And I'm like, guys, all right, now what are we doing?
I would love that, but anyway, honestly, real quick, I'm trying to think of somebody that I would be more excited about than Crosby. Myles Garrett.
Simmons, you could probably just as like he's that.
He's the one for me.
Like he's that good. But for me, I think, and I know Osa is.
Bradley Chubb's the other one. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the one you had on the. Yep.
I want to look at his contract. It's not friendly. I didn't.
I
didn't realize
he got that big contract.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
he did get a big contract.
Not friendly.
But again, they're a team that you could just see them selling off.
Yeah. Yeah, I said the same thing about Chubb. Chubb and Jalen Phillips. I was like, Jalen Phillips. Then I was like Bradley Chubb, but then I looked at Chubb's kind of like, oh, probably not. But yes, I think Simmons. I get excited for Trey, but Crosby's the one. You're right. Crosby's 1A. I think Simmons will be 1B. The thing with Simmons though is I don't think that's realistic because you'd have to come up off of Osa, who just paid, and you're probably going to have to deal with the massive dead money hit. And they always talk about dead money. Then you're also getting Simmons' contract on top of that, and just thinking like how they think. I just don't think they do it, but I would because I mean the dude is arguably top 3 defensive tackle playing football right now. So
I just think the Crosby thing too with Jerry, I could just see him loving that because it like could put some immediate closure on the Micah situation as opposed to having to wait to see what you get out of these 2-1s where you're just like, yep, we got Kenny Clark, we got Max Crosby, and then whatever's left over after that, you know, and you could like point to that immediately as opposed to like, I mean, you look at some of these trades, like even looking at like the Cowboys trades that they've done over the years, because I led the article talking about that. Like, you know, I mean, there was a while where they didn't make any trades. When I mean any trades, I mean like in that mid to late October where it's the, you know, trade window. And then in 18 is when it changed with Amari Cooper. And then the following year they did Michael Bennett. And then then there was a couple years that it was down after that. But then they went and did who was the other one they did?
I have it up here somewhere. I think I pulled it up.
Oh, Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, pull that up.
Yeah, they did Jonathan Hankins. And you just look at like what they got in return, like for like Michael Bennett and Jonathan Hankins, like none of these picks that they gave up, you know, got anything in return for those teams that traded them. Even, do you remember who the Raiders drafted with that Amari pick?
I think it was the safety.
Yeah, that Abrams kid, I think.
Abrams kid, yeah. Yeah, it was, you know, Castle, but like you said, Amari Cooper at 18 kind of sprung it open. Michael Bennett, the Houston defensive tackle, Hankins and Mingo. These are your in-season trades. They haven't done a whole lot, but and the biggest one obviously was Amari. But I think Hankins and Amari are the 2 hits. Everyone else is, you know, either not a hit or we'll see. Bryce Butler though in 2015, you know, he has some good moments for you here. Yeah. But we're talking about like
I didn't think Bennett was bad at the time when they made the move.
No, Bennett was good, but that season was. You know, that was the season where 8-8, and it was just it wasn't enough. Bennett was on the end of, I think that was his last year in football. So Bennett's a guy you bring to a team that's, you know, already established Super Bowl contender, and he's just kind of rotation. Bennett got in here and was pissed off. John, you could probably tell us he snapped out in the locker room.
Yeah, it was
because he's like,
pretty
this
memorable
bullshit.
moment. Yeah.
Whoa, what happened? What happened? Nah, let's talk about it. We got
it was after one of their losses, like late in the year, and he was just like, you could hear someone screaming in the locker room, like just yelling about whatever. And this is even after they closed the doors of the locker room after all the team got in. And then we found out later that was Michael Bennett was just going off about the way they were playing or whatever. And I don't know this to be 100% true, but the way I took all of it at the time was it was a kind of like using Overshown as an example. Like when you're Overshown, you can say stuff and that because like you're kind of the guy on the team. I think with like Michael Bennett, they're probably like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like.
But from my understanding, he was on some. This is not a championship organization ish.
Yeah, could have been that. Yeah.
Like what? This is not championship. You know, per practice championship performances. Blah blah blah. And he was pissed because you know he won one and went to 2 actually in Seattle. And then if he didn't get traded that year, he would have won another one in New England. But you know,
yeah.
Nah, that's you need some of that. Maybe you know, I don't know. But they're probably looking at Mike Bennett like, we don't care. that's probably.
I'll tell you right now, I will take
when everyone walks back to the house.
Yeah,
I will take. Now, look, I would love a Amari type of trade. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I will take a Jonathan Hankins type of trade right now. And
Absolutely,
Bennett. I will take a combination of a couple Bennett's and a couple Hankins trades right now. I really would.
Absolutely. Reason why I would swing for Jeff Simmons, and even because I believe in if you can consistently get pressure up the middle of these offenses and push the pocket. I also just isn't gonna do it. They paid him. He's gonna keep flying around. He'll make splash plays. I like Osa, but the defense is missing
Jeffrey
a certain
bro.
type.
It is what it is.
Yeah, facts. Like they're missing, and we said it, Skye. They're missing a specific type of defensive tackle.
Well, I don't think Simmons is the one you're looking for. The
He's not.
He is. He's 300-pound 3-tech. He's still 2 3-techs you'll have on your defense. But he is.
But he could play the 1, bro. He could play the 3. He's just better than Osa.
He's elite. You know, he's like Jay Ratliff, right? Yeah, he's 300, but Jay can go across the line.
Jay played everywhere. I was about to say he played 0, nose, and he was he whooped you.
It's just funny to hear you say that about the defensive line or defensive tackle because, like, when has it not been important? And I just feel like there was like a decade where the Cowboys were kind of like, no, we'll get by with these guys. Where it's like, I just feel like at every level, defensive tackle is so important. Like, why did it go so long before there was a bigger emphasis on it? You know, because like that's such a thing that like it's such a barometer for good teams. You know, like we are talking about Jeffrey Simmons. They're terrible, but most teams show me some good defensive tackles, and the team's probably at least decent.
It's because philosophically they get to a point where they believe something and they stick to it no matter what the trend is. They did it with safety. They did it with defensive tackle, as you said. They're kind of doing it with running back now with the new, the running back situation. And they just say, no, this is it. We don't need this. We can just rotate safety. We don't need defensive tackle. We could just Rob Marinelli. Give me orphans, right? And Rob Marinelli hasn't coached this defense since 2019, and they were still. It took Dan Quinn to come in here and say, "Hey, when the last time y'all drafted the first round defensive tackle?"
Those are the
1990 or something.
I do like that when they go a little bit of an unexpected route to a certain extent. Like they've gotten some of the best returns. Like what's his name just made a play the other day too. The edge rusher from LSU that we all thought that they would take, and then they ended up taking
Chase. Scooping score. I saw it too.
Yeah. Like, man, but going with CeeDee, that was absolutely the right thing. And then it was like, I mean, especially this week, you got Patrick Surtain. It's like if Patrick Surtain's there's no question that they're taking him instead of Micah Parsons. How they even traded back when Micah Parsons was sitting there. And it's like, well, that Micah Parsons thing worked out. And then like how many other quarterbacks they wanted instead of Dak in that 16 draft. And just like, hey, sometimes I'm telling you,
they were drafting Paxton Lynch.
They were trying to get Hackenberg too.
And Connor Cook.
On that.
They were trying to get Connor Cook.
What a name.
They took Charles Tapper instead of Dak.
Charles Tapper. Gee, he tapped out real quick. That back or something.
Man, John got some names for us. All right, that was a great segment. Yeah, I think, and honestly, even if you can mix and match it, like, so for me, Demario Davis was interesting because I think that if you could he's an elite run stopping linebacker. Like he will play every gap. He knows what's going on. If you can get some of that in here where you're not guessing in the linebacker room, and maybe if you want to just use Overshown and just speed the quarterback up some as a blitzer, stuff like that. But I like that list.
I'm worried about the backer spot because when John was talking about how much they, the leadership and stuff from Murray, I don't think they're moving off of that. And then with Overshown coming back, Leah Fowl, Shamar, I don't think they're going to touch back. I put it this way: anything's possible, but I'd be shocked now. I'm with you though. I wanted the backer, but now
you had a KG drop. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. Yeah, you got to get that. No, hey, speaking of basketball, I don't even want to open up that can of worms, but
that's a bad one for me, man. It was a bad one today. It's one of my all-time favorites there.
Bro, let me tell you something, John. I texted my group chat, said there's no way he did that. I'm just like, no.
He's one of that
he's
example
one of my
right
favorite
there.
players I've ever watched.
That example right there today. I was telling multiple people this today when we were at the
big shot, John.
That's why I don't ever go too far on ever being like, this is the greatest guy, blah, 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 about anybody. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. Chauncey Billups was like the man of those Pistons teams. I'm not talking about just like on the court. I'm talking about off the court, everything like that.
Bro, that was his thing.
In the community, everything. Like Chauncey is the man. And like to hear all that, not to say I don't even know all the details. I'm just saying like it just surprised me. I was like, damn, he got caught up in that. Like, who knows? I don't know.
They said he was dealing with the mob.
That is one of my, like, literally no joke, all-time favorite athletes. I love Chauncey.
The smoothest basketball player
out the league too. But
Big Shot Billups. Well, even they said that it was mob related. Like 5 families. It's crazy.
It is wild. Yeah.
I know this is Cowboys talking
about back to the 70s and 80s. Okay.
But I mean, if that's going on, it's not like this is just an NBA thing. It could very easily be connected.
I remember when Tim Donahue that first happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh damn. Because you always heard, right, the whispers, especially, growing up watching Lakers Sacramento and Lakers Spurs, but definitely Lakers Sacramento. And the Sacramento Kings fans and players still talk about how they got cheated. And then the Tim Donahue comes out years later, you're like, boy.
Let me ask y'all.
There hasn't been an NFL thing like that. Like, where
no. I was about to say, John. Let's turn it to football. How hard would it be to,
not call a single penalty in an entire game?
Well, no, not refs, John. Let's talk players. Because remember, when Rozier was he was doing his unders. That's why he's in jail right now.
Toxic, chill out.
He was so with him with his unders. Rozier was like, oh, I got
somebody posted a low light of him like, hey,
bro, he's wild, bro. He was tripping. He wasn't even making it. It was obvious. I'm like, bro, you're crazy. How could you do that in football?
A quarterback, easy. They'll throws.
Quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback. You ever seen a replacement?
But I was thinking, like, what other positions? I guess receiver, possibly. But how?
Because you can't control
your
yardage. Yeah, you wouldn't even know when you're making it.
The quarterback is the easiest one.
Referees can definitely do it though.
The quarterbacks
refs can easily do it.
They can call holding.
I'm thinking of players.
Yeah, the quarterback could, but like they're also like the top paid. It would have to be like some backup quarterback that, hey, if you get in.
Nate Peterman or whatever his name.
I did hear that if you're a player and you gamble, it gets flagged. If you're in the league, if you try to sign up for any gambling site.
Old boy, I was with Atlanta. I went to Jaguars. He did that. Yep. He didn't gamble, I think, in the state that he was, and he gambled somewhere else, and they caught him.
They said it gets flagged immediately. So
I really don't care if you gamble in your everyday life. I just don't want you rigging games.
Not rig. I mean, bro. Think about this, John. I've never seen that.
You can't gamble if you work for the NFL. I'm talking about
NFL
that's
Network. Very true. I just know from like people that I'm friends with that work for the Cowboys website. When we've gone, like, let's say, like last year, to the preseason game in Vegas, they couldn't even go in the sports books.
You go watch the replacements, bro. The kicker, they tell you right there.
My bad, John. You said who?
Oh, I'm just saying, like, even the team employees, they couldn't go in the sports books when we were in Vegas for that preseason game. I think it was last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I haven't just, I mean, we touch on everything on the collective. I have never seen nothing like this, bro. A head coach going to jail from the FBI. This isn't like an assistant.
Right.
Chauncey Billups represented the org. He represented Portland.
That's crazy.
And it's not like some local police thing either. It's the
FBI.
This is Trump's. This is Trump. They said that Trump was like knew about all of this. This has been on.
So he's not going to pardon Chauncey for me.
He pardoned. Who did he pardon? What rapper did he pardon? Trump.
Was it? No, that was Hov that helped out Meek.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne. What's somebody?
Oh, it might be Lil Wayne. It might be Lil Wayne.
Nah, it was somebody else too. Damn.
He pardoned. This is, but big shot.
Wasn't it Jello? I think
Jello in Asia for stealing.
But anyway.
Okay,
guys.
AI says Lil Wayne and Kodak Black. And NBA YoungBoy.
Now, that's what I was thinking of.
This is AI, so
that's so random, bro.
That is.
All right, that's so random to me. But anyway.
Hey, we don't shave points here on the collective. We give you guys the real points. Guys, we got
I'm just saying if Sleeper was offering me a bag, I might shave a couple points on y'all. I'm just saying.
Listen, Rozier was so obvious with this guy. I'm like, bro, you was a criminal for sure. You definitely was gonna get caught. The stuff he was doing. They said he was getting bags of $200,000 delivered to his house weekly after he would see that. And I'm like, bro,
he wilding.
You tripping. Making all this money one more. Anyway, let's talk about this Denver game, guys. This is a big game. I'm excited for it. They're a good team. I want to see where our chin is. Before we get to the game still, and before we get to the new segment, Skye's Eyes, just give me I'll start with John here. give me your overall thoughts of this Denver team, because I actually have high level thoughts, but just how do you feel about this team as a whole before we get into the minutia of it all?
So this is for the Cowboys, some holdover, but basically a new coaching staff. This is the most praise I've heard for an opposing team in terms of their defense and Vance Joseph and how well they're coached. Just, I mean, even like the way Clayton Adams was talking about him today, like just at all levels, how well, like just when you watch the tape, how well coached that this team is. And obviously they have good players. I mean, I want to say last time I checked that Nick Benito was like top 4 or 5 for an NFL Defensive Player of the Year voting.
Really?
Most productive
not
rusher
voting,
right
but
now.
odds to win NFL Defensive Player. Yeah, because I mean he's been killing it this year. And then, I mean, I know it goes all over the place with corners, but I do think right now Patrick Surtain's the best corner in the league. And so to me, like, and this was a popular topic around Dak and CeeDee and George Pickens the last couple of days. It's, will he follow one of them or will he just stay on one side of the field? And like Dak said today, it's like, okay, I mean, he can just stay with one of those guys, but maybe it would be better if he just stayed on one side of the field because then he's, comfortable over there, I guess. He's used to that. And then it's whatever top receiver's going over there. But they seem very comfortable with whatever he chooses to do. But I just think that they're good at all 3 levels. I mean, this is a defense, best third down defense. I mean, it's literally, this is a game between the best third down defense in the NFL and the worst third down defense in the NFL. That's not great. And the only thing that kind of stood out to me a little bit for how good their defense is, just a little surprised that they don't have more takeaways, because I don't think of this Cowboys team as being like some great takeaway team. I think they have 6 right now. I think the Broncos only have like 4 or 5. And so that surprised me a little bit, but just crazy respect from the Cowboys today and yesterday talking about this defense. That would be the, bless you. That'd be the biggest thing that stands out to me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Skye.
Well, yeah, I'm just as an overall team, these dudes they have this cardiac Bronco to them thing. They every game they're down to the wire. It seems like, or most of these games have come down to the wire, at least to start the year, and then last week and a couple others. Philly, right? Like how many games? 7? I'm gonna say 4 or 5 of them, if not more, have just been really close. And I think a lot of that is because they have a defense that, although it was weird last week with 19 to nothing. They are able to somehow, some way keep them in it or make a play. And I shouldn't say somehow, some way, because it's a damn good defense, number one. Somehow, some way, the quarterback on the other side finds a way to make a play because Bo Nix is, I wouldn't call him a really good quarterback, but he's a quarterback on the come, right? He's young, he's figuring things out. He can run around really well.
If I put you on first take right now, they love to do this. Where would you rank him in the NFL amongst starters?
I still have him out well outside the top 10.
Well,
yeah,
I was about to say like 15, 16. 17.
No, but I mean, would you have him outside the top 20?
He'd be around there.
I probably have him inside the top 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's a top 20 quarterback, but
yeah, I have him. But I'm just saying he's not.
He has some warts.
Yeah, he's
not.
Yeah,
no doubt.
He's very much gunslingery. He got some dart to him now. He got some dart to him. But that actually to his benefit when the game is so close, because he's not turning the ball over all crazy. He might put it in harm's way, but he's actually been more clutch than not. So he has that. Well, boy, used to say he has that clutch gene or whatever you want to call it. So he complements the defense well when it matters at the end of the game. And their offense to me is not that impressive, but Sean Payton's a very smart, high level coach, and Bo Nix has been clutch. I mean, what can you say? If the game is close, we can poo and he and kiki all you want, but he has made plays in the clutch. So try not to make it close and try to at least have a two touchdown, 2 possession lead. So you got to worry about that.
They're also a really good example, kind of like the Eagles were with the Wentz thing of, man, they really did get out of a bad deal on that Russell Wilson thing. When you think about like when that happened, like how bad that team could have become. And now, like, I'm sure Sean Payton, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit. He's one of the best coaches in the NFL and has been for a while. But there was a time there when they made that move where I was like, oh, that doesn't work out. They might be in trouble for a while. And they're pretty good.
Yeah. Sean Payton, man. He's a good coach.
For me, when I look, you talk about Sean Payton, the irony of it is, if you listen to people in Denver, I was texting with Skye about this. They're like, kind of getting a little, I wouldn't say annoyed with Sean Payton, but they're not happy with the way the offense looks. Oh no,
offense. Okay,
the screen.
But as a team, I'm shocked.
The team is playing well.
Yeah, I'm shocked because they were bad before Sean. So
no, for sure, but
they turned them around in 1 year.
No, for sure, but just the offense, the inconsistency in the play calling, the amount of screens they throw, the amount of like not pushing the ball downfield, and I think some of that is, this is my theory on like the comeback and the cardiac stuff. It's like, to me, a great offense is attacking at all times. We're accessing the field at like every level of the field. Yeah, we're accessing every level of the field at all the time. What they do is when they're behind, it's like, all right, let's turn it up. And teams probably play a little bit more prevent. That Giants game, they lost the game to me more than the Broncos won the game, but to me, they lost it more than they won it. That late pit from Dart playing kind of wild. Dart just threw it right to the guy over the middle of the field. You're like, Dart, what was that? 2 yards from you, and you just throw it to him. But he couldn't step into the throw, so it is what it is. And to me, their defense is good, but can be had. And that's what that defense is good.
The defense is great.
The defense is good. The defense is good. When I watched the Giants tape, there was a few times they turned the tight end wide open. And I'm talking about, this is a guy that's nowhere near Fergie's level. And even they had a long run. They're gassing them with 40. No offense, John. Big white boy. What's his name? Bro. They gas Scatterbo. And then they go with
Tyrone Tracy.
They go with Tracy. And they just it was something that Clayton would run like a trap play, wide open. Walks in the end zone. So they can be had.
Zone.
Yeah. And
that play you're talking about is Hufunga. That was why that happened. He bid on the split zone, thinking that the tight end Bellinger was going to leak out, and he just opened up the sea for Tyrone Tracy right there. But I'm not gonna. I'm going to go opposite of. This is a great defense that has weaknesses in it. That if you can get to the weakness, you can make big plays. There's nothing about. Listen to this. Now, these aren't even all of them. Number 1 in third down defense, number 1 in red zone percentage, number 1 in sacks, number 1 in pressure percentage, number 1 in pass yards per play, number 2 in average separation, number 2 in pass touchdowns allowed, top 10. I'm not even going to name them all because he's top 10 across the board in regards to top 10, rushing defense. Everything, yards per carry, touchdowns, yards, everything you can think of. They're top 10 across the board. Top 10 in yards per carry to running backs alone. 4th in blitz percentage. This defense is what it is. It's a great defense, but it ain't perfect. It's not a perfect defense. They have, in my opinion, 2 pieces in this defense that if you can get to it, you can make big plays. And that's the thing about this defense is they're going to be consistently good. Now, I think this last week was an outlier. I don't think this was who they were throughout the season. And they made some plays in that game and some busted coverages. When I say made plays, I'm talking about the Giants. But if you can get to the 2 weaknesses of this defense and Riley Moss and Alex Singleton, I couldn't call Riley Moss a weakness. But
I don't think Riley Moss is a weakness.
He has a weakness to his game, though. He has a weakness to his game, and if you can get to it, and I'm talking about down, he can't run, bro. Like, he cannot run with our guys. Devontae Smith, run by him. Alex Pierce, run by him. Okay. Old boy in who was it? LA, run by him. He can't run with you. Now, if you keep it 15,
you're talking about Devontae Adams ran by him. No, Puka Nacua.
No. Chargers.
It was,
I think Allen got behind him.
Keenan Allen? Because he's slow as dirt.
No, it wasn't a 9 route. He just got behind him. No.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is, 15 and in, he's smart, and they got a pass rush, and he's not a bum or nothing. But if you can block it up, he can't run with Lamb and Pickens. Quite literally can't. So to me, that's one of the guys. I said this on Twitter. Hey, Riley Moss, get ready. Your GPS number should be crazy on Sunday because I'm sending a lot of deep stuff downfield with Riley Moss. I'm not letting him just float around 15 and in because that's where he can break on things because he sees Benito and Cooper, right? And Allen and them boys getting the pass rush. Can't believe we talk about this defense and didn't mention that front, by the way. Like, I know Patrick Surtain's the guy, but that front, I apologize. When we played the Giants, I was like, oh, you ain't going to see another one like that. I'm lying. Nope. This front right here is ridiculous when it comes to getting off the ball and getting to the quarterback. That's why I said they're number one in all these things. Dak is going to have a Packers type game where when you finish, you're like, the hell? They had 25 pressures and they ain't sack them? That's because of Dak. That ain't because you got these all-pro tackles. They was getting ass whooped. Your tackles are probably going to get whooped by Cooper and Benito, and Allen is a really good interior guy. Probably going to get some pressure. But Dak is going to have to be able to get that ball out. Shoddy and Adams, I think, are going to have to help him out with the scheme as well. That front is a lot better than I've realized till I went and watched the tape.
Nah, yeah, they can play for sure. Hey, let's get to Skye's eyes and let's see. Let's look at some scheme things and let's talk about kind of what the Broncos do and
sure
some things that we notice. Here we go.
We were talking about, and look, this is awesome that we get some plays up here because you're a coach and you see a lot of things on this too. Yep. But we were talking about two of the weaknesses, and to me, the other one is Alex Singleton, the linebacker, and he's going to be right here. And guys, you're going to hear me talk about. Actually, he's not right there. Alex Singleton's going to be over here, but you're going to hear me talk about him throughout.
I think they were talking about benching him too. I was listening,
brother. If they, I'm not shocked because that guy is mouse in the house. I got 4 plays for you. Hopefully, YouTube will be okay. Let us do these plays. I think Shane Steichen dialed it up against these boys. I think they actually laid the blueprint, pun intended, because when the Cowboys played the Denver Broncos, they had the blueprint to Dak. I think Steichen showed you how to dial up against these guys to get some big plays. I thought he mixed it up well, used some pre-snap stuff, snap stuff, play action, misdirection, all of that. And this one right here, and all of this is going to be single high. So, they come out and they play a lot of single high, cover 1, cover 3. They do mix it up from zone to man, but they play a lot of man, which I love for the Cowboys, by the way. A whole lot of man.
If you try to play man against these receivers, good luck.
They will. But they're going to get this is a lot of pistol formation, play action. We do a lot of this stuff too with the tight end where you get the shift, right? And the play action, of course, what we're trying to do with the play action is get these guys to bite down hard here. And they're going to run these guys out to clear this area of the field because they're going to try to leak. Is this Tyler Warren, I believe? That's the tight end, correct, from the Colts? Yep, they're going to leak Tyler Warren down the middle of that field. And then I love how after the play action, they got Jonathan Taylor underneath. I let the play run so you guys can see. There's a play action, and y'all saw it right there. Let me pull this up so y'all can see the guys biting down on that. You get the interference in the back, and we get this wide open area because you have Jonathan Taylor coming out here. And again, Alex Singleton trailing. Big play, Tyler Warren. You can make big plays on these guys if you play around with their eyes. This second play, again, we're picking on Alex Singleton. We do a lot of pre-snap stuff too. And I think we should take a lot from what we saw from Steichen and other teams. But this is I believe a pre-snap or snap motion, exit motion for Jonathan Taylor. Yep. So Jonathan Taylor's going to motion out here, and they're going to run basically kind of a rub, right? Foots where we're trying to get some traffic here so the linebacker can't get over the top. And it happens right away. You know what I'm saying? It happens right away. These two dudes is dapping each other up in the middle of the play. And right behind that is Jonathan Taylor. And this is by design, by the way, because if you look at this route, this is just them trying to create interference. And you get Jonathan Taylor wide open. And guess who's trailing? Alex Singleton. All right. So the Eagles they don't have a great offensive coordinator, but if you look on the tape, you see, all right, we can do some things against Alex Singleton. So we're going to pretty much do a similar situation. Instead of doing the wheel route out here, they're going to run what looks like a choice route from Saquon Barkley. And again, trying to get interference, right? So we can get some traffic here. But they do a good job, or I should say Alex Singleton does a good job avoiding that traffic. But here's the problem. He thinks that Saquon Barkley is going to, again, run a choice route somewhere around here. Instead, Saquon Barkley sticks his foot in the ground and gets upfield. And if you're like that, Alex Singleton, and that's Saquon Barkley, we're wide open. And guess who's trailing? Alex Singleton. The Giants don't got a great offensive coordinator, but you know who we going to try to attack me? Alex Singleton.
So I got to stop you real quick here.
Say again?
I got to stop you real quick.
Go ahead, buddy.
As I'm watching this, all I keep thinking about is how a Broncos podcast is probably doing the exact same thing with the Cowboys linebackers.
100%. But
hold on.
Our defense ain't good. This is a good defense where you got to try to find a weakness.
Hold on, John. Hold on. Time out. They may be talking about it, but are they breaking it down like Skye's eyes? That's all I'm saying.
No, definitely not.
This is good stuff, Skye.
By the way, y'all, all those plays have happened out of single high. So they come out single high.
I see a lot of man principles.
Yes.
Yes.
And
just so people know, they're doing this because of their pass rush. You can play man when you get home. Like, just being honest, you can do that when you don't get home. But continue, because I got some thoughts on this guy. This is great stuff.
No, for sure. Again, and if you look at most of these plays, I think a couple of them is just straight man. A couple of them is cover 3. But they are way better at communicating when they want to pass things along. The problem is they have a weakness, and sometimes it's Hufanga too. But Hufanga, we'll break him down if you want. But Hufanga, I think, is a good player. He's a little out of control sometimes. But so look, if I'm seeing this, you best believe other offensive coordinators are seeing this. So this is a little different or variation of how they try to do it. They got, I think, 12 personnel here, and they're going to run a play action. Instead of the pistol out of the play action, they get under center. And they're going to show kind of that wide zone type of look. And instead of the running back leaking or the tight end coming across the formation, the tight end, I think it's Johnson, is going to show a fake block here and run its own wheel. And then Bellinger is going to get wide open down the seam.
That's the one I saw. Yeah.
With guess who's trailing Cowboys Nation? Alex Singleton. But to be fair, if Hufanga wasn't trying to get greedy here and kind of had his eyes around this area, he would see that Bellinger is about to run right past Alex Singleton, and he needs to haul ass back there. He doesn't do that. And Alex Singleton, to me, has pretty bad eyes and coverage. And this right here, to me, is if you're even, what they say,
you're leaving.
Yeah. So they're even right now. And Hufanga is more so worried about Dart looking for Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, in my opinion, I'm not quite sure why he's even looking at Wan'Dale Robinson, because he's in the Bermuda Triangle. And, sir, you're not Tom Brady. You're not fitting that thing through here. And as the play goes, he's still looking in that Bermuda Triangle. And I don't know why, because Bellinger, right now, you just throw the ball to this area of the field down here, that's a touchdown.
Whole shot.
Somehow, some way, he still gets wide open, because when Bellinger tries to escape the pocket, Hufanga, who gets greedy, steps up, wide open touchdown, Bellinger. And guess who's trailing, ladies and gentlemen? Alex Singleton. So that's mouse in the house. I had no idea they were thinking about benching him. I hope they do not. I pray they do not. And I don't know how they can, because Dre Greenlaw can't play. He's suspended.
No. They got a young kid, but no, he'll be out there. Yeah, Dre. Them not having Dre Greenlaw is big, by the way. Yeah. So this is great stuff. Can we get claps in the chat for Skywalker Steele, please?
That's why I would attack Alex Singleton in the middle of the field and Riley Moss deep down the middle of the field, and I'd be strategic like I was with Sauce Gardner when Pickens is on Surtain, because I think he can get at Surtain. I think if it's one guy that can get in Surtain's head, it's Pickens, because he did it already.
Yeah, no, listen. So a few things that I noticed is when you're playing all that 3. And when you're playing all those, those structures, this will be a Jake Ferguson game for sure. It just feels like
don't be shocked if Brevin Span 4 gets something too.
Yeah. And now what I would like to see in this, looking at that, I would like to see them go bigger formation, especially if they're going to keep that 4-man front. I couldn't tell if it was an odd or even, but whatever they're going to do front wise. Okay. So yeah. So
very traditional too, 3-4.
I would want to get those tight ends on there, run the ball first, right? Make Benito come fit the run, right? And he's a great player, but even great players have weaknesses. And then now we're your thing, Skye. Back to the basket play action. You're leaking Ferguson, because the way teams have to play it now, and this is the beautiful thing about it. You heard CeeDee and Pickens say it. If they want to get in our face, we run it past you. If teams are dumb enough to do that, even with Surtain and Riley Moss, you just said it, Riley Moss is slow. He has to have help over the top. They're not dumb. Joseph,
they won't give it to him. I mean, they'll play too high.
Let me ask you this.
They're not playing too high to help their corners.
Let me ask you this.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Vance Joseph isn't done. Do you think that he's going to be in CeeDee's face? Do you think that Riley Moss will be in CeeDee's face? If he is, then he is done.
Vance Joseph, when they talked to him, he was worried about the kind of pick your poison aspect of this team. He said when the Cowboys go out in the 11 personnel, they average 6.2 yards per carry. He said that's the hardest part to deal with is that they have a prolific pass offense, but at the same time, teams are giving them light boxes, which is the reason why they
run the ball.
Yeah, they can run the ball. So I think he's going to more so lose sleep on what do I do? Do I try to stop the run and leave my guys vulnerable? Or do I switch up what I've been doing most of the year, which has been very aggressive single high stuff and some cover 3 stuff, and allow room for these receivers to operate or get ran by? That what we're going to have to do, you said it. Play action. Make these edges think for 2 seconds. Or not even 2 seconds, for 2.2 seconds. Because I'm telling you right now, I would be surprised if one-on-one left on the island, they don't get beat fast 60-70% of the time. Like there's going to have to be Ferg is going to have to be strategic how he gets upfield, because he's going to be asked again to chip. Javonte is going to be asked to chip, and I know Dak is good with dealing with the edge pressure, but Gary doesn't have the same get off as Benito and Cooper. Right, those 2 guys are super fast. Micah does, but you saw how much attention we gave Micah to be able to deal with it, and it was Dak getting that rock out real fast. This is going to have to be a strategic game, I think, with Clayton Adams, Dak Prescott, and Schottenheimer, bro. They're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. Right, if they can deal with it, we can throw the ball.
I'm honestly not worried about this defense. And I'm not going to say at all, but I feel like
I'm worried about the rush.
The rush is really good. I think that what I said earlier today was get it to 3rd and 4, get it to 3rd and 3s.
Don't even go to 3rd
No,
down.
I'm just saying you're gonna get the 3rd down. But they're a good defense. But get it to those
they're the best 3rd down defense. They have almost 20 sacks in 3rd down, bro.
If you're living in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 7, that's when they can hunt. That's when they can come get you. That's when Tyler Guyton and Terrence Steele have to hold up longer.
But let me do this, because
that's my thought.
I know me and you we go years about here. You usually are more positive about most things, right? But what I want to do, I don't want to damp your positivity, but what I want to do is say, don't diminish it either, right? In the sense of, if the Cowboys go out here and have an excellent game against this defense, that is an absolute accomplishment here. Like, this is a really good defense. So I don't want to, if the Cowboys do well against this defense, it's like, man, yeah, that defense ain't nothing because, I said, I ain't worried about it. Nah, bro. No. Just like I was saying about the Packers game, I said, if they go out there and they do their thing against the Packers, that is a positive, super positive thing. Let's not diminish the Packers defense just because they got whooped on. They got whooped on because your offense is like that. Don't diminish the Denver defense if the Cowboys go out there and drop 30 on them. Your offense is like that, but that's a really good defense. That's the only thing I would push back on, is that I don't want us to poo-poo it if the Cowboys do well and we like, overrated defense. No, it's not. That is not an overrated defense.
No. I don't think
anybody would do that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Like, I'll do that all day on that Washington team that they just.
Absolutely.
I said no way. Yeah. Hey, what happened to my guy Jahdae Barrett?
I don't know.
He's played in every game, but I don't know. I just remember us talking about him around draft time.
Well, where I was. I wanted Will Johnson, so I wasn't. Yeah. I wasn't. I thought that, and I know he doesn't play on the edge. I don't think that. See, that the problem with Barron was he couldn't, just because people saw him play safety or line up in the back as a safety or whatever. I didn't see him as a true NFL safety. Yeah. And then if you're drafting a guy that high, you want him just in the nickel? Maybe, but I need him down the edge.
Yeah.
Well, they got a good nickel, which I didn't even get to him. Look, Lamb has not lined up in the slot a lot this year. They got a nickel that's like 5'8", 5'9", like a $1.09. Dog. I'm just saying, if they want to run man, and this is a game where CeeDee's in the slot, that dude is not checking CeeDee Lamb in the slot.
Nope.
So, yeah.
The Broncos defense is good. Dallas is going to have to be locked in. I'm going to tell you what Skye is going to have to do. Skye is going to have to game plan. He's going to have to stay composed. He's going to have to not chase plays. But when they give you an opportunity to take some shots, take your shots too. Because like you just said, hey man, sometimes you could get cute, and then sometimes you could look over there, see Riley Moss, see this thing. If we're getting that much high, if you're getting that much one safety, one post safety, bro, throw it right past him. Throw it over his head and say, you know what? You're coming out of there. They did it. I love the fact that they looked at Marshawn Lattimore and said, you know what? You're not better than that guy. You're not better than that guy.
Marshawn said, and it be real. What corner is dealing with Pickens downfield? I don't think anyone. I've seen him do this to Surtain. Yeah. So I'm just sorry, bro. If I see he's over there, and I would line up Pickens to the wide side, and if Pat ain't over there, and even if he is, but if Pat ain't over there, and it's Riley Moss, if Riley Moss is in his chest, I don't care what the play is. Kill, because you about to kill. Let's go. Run that 9 and let's go. Throw it up.
Man, hey, listen. You convinced me, Skye, and that was good stuff. We made it. Oh, wow. We're out of here, John. We got to our hour. Is there any closing notes? What we doing, man? What we got going on? I know we got to run the read.
Oh, we can do the prediction. Look, we just talked about the weaknesses. We showed film and everything. Cowboys haven't won in Denver in 30 years. That place is hard to play at in September and October. So somebody on Twitter, I can't remember who it was. Might have been Mike. Was
30
like,
years is crazy.
It's crazy. Mike was like, I don't know if it was 30. I could be exaggerating. But he said something along the lines of he hoped that Shoddy took him there early because, the altitude, and you've been to Denver a few times now, working with the team, John. Like, how is that just as a regular human being?
Oh, for lazy losers like me, they're just going there to drink and eat. You're fine. But if you're going to be running around, then yeah, for sure.
But do you still... I've only flew over.
I never have when I've been there. I've been there. This will be my 4th or 5th time. I had a friend that used to live in Denver. Like, I've never noticed it, but I was also not doing anything athletic when I've been there. So
gotcha.
I heard it's just like the air is just a little thicker.
It's real. Do you remember when we went in practice and Neville Gallimore was like, we were not prepared? That is a real thing. That's why if you go look at their home record in September, teams can't beat them. They can't beat them at all.
Bro, that's crazy. I
think they got something like less than 10 losses over the last decade at the crib in September. It's crazy.
So
92.
92 was the last time we beat them in Denver.
Yep. They won 31-27.
Oh, there you go. So
Aubrey from 70 says small. Aubrey can kick that thing from 80.
Seven straight losses to them.
We got to come off a win. We got to get eventually to be serious. We got to be a win. Get on. Oh. Hey, what a great show, guys. My prediction will be we'll get predictions in the room and everybody let them go. I got Dallas 24. I got a low scoring game this game. I got Dallas 24, Denver 20. I feel like Dallas's defense plays 2 better games. Dak has a drive late.
What you got?
24-20. What you got, John?
I'd be surprised if the Cowboys win this game. I mean, just look at the trends. They played good and then dipped back down. I think Denver's going to be a tough spot for them.
That's fair.
And I think their defense is going to pose some problems more so than obviously like Washington and some other teams. Give me like Denver 27, Cowboys 20. I think 3.5 is too light, to be honest with you. I'm sorry to be negative, but I'm surprised it's only 3.5.
We can't all be positive and flowers.
And there's just not enough that the Cowboys have done on defense that
they've lost one game by more than 3.5, or Philly was 4 points,
and they also haven't lost at home. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're. I think
they're one of 4 or 5 teams that haven't lost at home this year.
For good reason. That's a tough place to play.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah. But I do think this is the best offense they will have seen. I think we were going to force their offense to have to score a lot of points, and you could argue, well, Scotty did it already last week against the Giants, put up 33 points in the quarter. It's ridiculous. And our defense has not played that great. But if you can, again, this isn't Jordan Love to me. This isn't. I like Bo Nix. I like all that stuff. And he is very clutch. But if you can make them one-dimensional, make them have to keep up, I think in the fourth quarter, you can get this pass rush to finally get some confidence like it got last week and hopefully get home at some point. But I agree, low-scoring game here. I got Cowboys 23, Broncos 21. I do think they scored 3 touchdowns. Both teams scored 3 touchdowns, but a lot of field goals by Brandon Aubrey. the GOAT.
All right. We'll be coming back after the Cowboys win. Love you guys. The best podcast in the world. John Machota, Skye Nation. Skye Nation is crazy.
Skye, you can go to sleep.
Skywalker Steele.
Go get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm about to go to sleep right now. I love you guys. Law, wherever you are. We love you, bro. Much love. Peace.
Peace.